whole generation of golfers. I mean, you've grown up watching that guy do what he did week in, week out. I mean, it was pretty amazing to see. And like,
the world's top golfer just threw Charlie Woods straight into the spotlight, and the golf universe can't stop buzzing about it. Praise, pressure, and prophecy just collided in the most unexpected way, and suddenly every sports headline is screaming his name. But behind the quotes and the viral clips, there's a much deeper game playing out behind the greens. It all began as a quiet pre-US Open press conference, business as usual, until it turned into the most explosive golf interview of 2025. Scottie Scheffler, fresh off his fourth major win at the Open Championship, got asked a simple question about young rising stars. What followed? A verbal bombshell that ricocheted across the entire sport like a wild drive slicing into the crowd. "Charlie's got that fire," Scheffler said, giving a knowing nod to the 16-year-old prodigy. "Reminds me of Tiger in his prime. But his mechanics need tightening. He's powerful, but power without consistency doesn't win majors." Boom! Just like that. Polite words turned into a shockwave. It was classy, it was careful, but it cut deep. See, Scheffler's no gossip hound. He's the calm, collected titan of golf, the guy who plays, wins, and disappears back into silence. For him to drop a critique on Tiger Woods' own son, that's like the Pope publicly grading Beyoncé's halftime show. It just doesn't happen. Fans instantly went to war online, one side calling it tough love, the other saying, "How dare he?" Insiders, though, claim Scheffler's comment came from a place of respect, a reminder of just how brutal it is to carry the Woods legacy into today's unforgiving modern field.
I think the thing he forgot to mention is the PGA Tour owns 20% of TGL. So, like, he's criticizing his own product.
And just like that, a teenage golfer became the most talked about name in the game. But good intentions don't always land the way you think. Within hours, golf threads were on fire. Was Scheffler just being honest, or did we just witness the first spark in a full-blown rivalry? The reigning king versus golf's chosen heir? Whatever the truth, his words didn't just echo across the fairways. They detonated like a bomb in a silent clubhouse. Once Scheffler opened his mouth, the rest of the golf world couldn't resist. Rory McIlroy, never one to stay quiet when it comes to the mental game, jumped right in. On a July podcast, he said, "The kid's been under a microscope since birth. That's tougher than any Course A mix of admiration and warning in one breath." But Rory couldn't help himself. He added another jab. "He gets frustrated out there. Reminds me of Tiger when he was raw, except the cameras are always rolling." Translation: Charlie might crack before he conquers. Then Justin Thomas slid into the drama through Instagram stories, of course, giving props to Charlie's insane driver distance before throwing in his own caution. Short game separates the good from the great. Classic Thomas, support with a side of challenge. Xander Schauffele chimed in next, cool as ever, calling Charlie's competitive energy scary, in the best way. But the biggest twist came from the legend himself, Jack Nicklaus, who went deep. Gary faced similar expectations, he said, invoking his own son's struggles. "It's brutal when you're compared to your dad every swing." Altogether, it sounded less like commentary and more like a golf town hall, one long public intervention wrapped in polite applause. They weren't mocking Charlie, they were warning him just how cruel the spotlight can be. They weren't just talking about Charlie, they were dissecting him like a science project on pressure control. Every quote felt like a diagnosis, and suddenly, the story wasn't about Scheffler's honesty anymore. It was about golf's quiet panic, a sport terrified of its own next generation. Because let's be real, when legends start critiquing your mental game before you even pass your driving test, it's no longer a junior tournament. It's a full-blown legacy exam. While the pros debated, Charlie Woods stayed locked in, and oh, did he clap back with results. At the 2025 Junior Players Championship, he dropped a hole-in-one that had commentators losing their minds. Then he stacked it up with top finishes at both the Florida Amateur and the US Junior Amateur. Boom! Just like that, the too much pressure narrative got silenced, at least for a moment. But just when fans thought the heat had cooled off, here came the twist. Scheffler doubled down. In an interview with Golf Monthly, he said, "Charlie's working hard, maybe too hard. He's grinding like Tiger did, but he needs balance." Translation: even success wasn't enough to get the kid out of the microscope. Then, in true showman fashion, Phil Mickelson jumped into the ring. That hole-in-one was pure magic, he said, smiling like a proud uncle before dropping a cold dose of truth. But the journey from prodigy to pro? That's a grind, ask Tiger. Meanwhile, Viktor Hovland called Charlie's game complete, and Jordan Spieth added his trademark realism. Tour life breaks even the toughest. Suddenly, it wasn't criticism anymore. It was prophecy. The greats weren't doubting him. They were narrating his origin story live. Behind the scenes, reports say Tiger took it all in stride. He listens to guys like Scottie, a source revealed. They've got mutual respect. Still, the storm was brewing. Fans were already comparing swings, form, and legacy before Charlie even picked a college. Every shot this season felt heavier, like each swing carried the weight of his last name. The spotlight wasn't just bright, it was blinding, and now the world's seeing what it truly means to grow up as Tiger Woods' son. Because in golf, potential doesn't make kings. Performance does, and the throne, it's never given, it's earned. And then,
I can't tell you the look on his face when we got to the first green. And I look over and we're in 20th place, we're kind of playing, yada, yada, yada. And I look over and this guy is just locked in. And I was taken back. I was like, holy smokes. And then we got to the second hole and he had this chip shot and he looked at it like it was an up and down to win the tournament. And I'm like, this is incredible. I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
boom! The silence shattered. Tiger Woods' golf's eternal stone face finally broke his calm exterior in September 2025. Reporters came expecting another vague quote, maybe a polite smile and a safe golf cliche or two, but instead, Tiger went off script. "Charlie is Charlie," he declared at the press conference, voice steady but sharp. "He's not me. These guys mean well, but let's let him play." The room froze. You could feel the shock ripple through the air. The polite applause that followed couldn't hide it. Tiger Woods had just told the entire golf world to back off his son. And just when everyone thought he was done, he fired again, this time addressing Scheffler directly. "Scottie's right about mechanics," Tiger admitted. "Charlie's got time. Don't rush him." That single line hit like a 320-yard drive. Clean, powerful, and impossible to ignore. Respectful, but loaded with meaning. Within minutes, Scheffler fired back on X. Yeah, Twitter 2.0. "Tiger knows best. I'm just calling what I see." The digital applause was instant. A quiet truce, or maybe just damage control. Bubba Watson jumped into the mix too, trying to cool things off. "The kid's got unlimited potential, but family comes first," he said, giving the whole drama a softer edge. And suddenly, the world saw something new, the protective father hiding behind the 15-time major champion's armor. Tiger's words did what Scheffler's couldn't. They humanized the Woods family. This wasn't about swing speed or putting rhythm anymore. It was about legacy, identity, and a father drawing a line in the sand, saying, "Enough." Tiger's rare honesty echoed louder than any drive he's ever hit. And if the pros had been loud before, the fans were deafening. By the time the 2025 US Open teed off, the crowd energy was electric. Team USA versus Team Europe felt more like gladiators entering an arena. European players complained about heckling and chants targeting Tiger's kid. The line between sport and spectacle had officially disappeared, and the legend's son had become the most polarizing name in golf. Protective of Charlie and proud of his own, Team Scheffler clapped back online with a post that sent social media spinning. "Our boys tell it straight, deal with it, boom!" Just like that, a simple swing critique had morphed into a full-blown continental Cold War. Lines were drawn, fans picked sides, and somewhere in the middle stood Rory McIlroy, the peacekeeper of chaos, trying to play diplomat with a golf club. "Fans forget," Rory sighed after his round, visibly drained. "These are kids under massive pressure." But even his calm couldn't cool the flames. Scheffler fans showed up in Mechanics Matter shirts, half irony, half blind loyalty, turning practice rounds into fashion statements. The PGA tried to pour water on the fire, but the blaze was already roaring. Golf hadn't seen this kind of madness since the infamous taunts of the 1999 Ryder Cup. Then came the viral moment that set the internet ablaze. During Charlie's practice round, a spectator shouted, "Prove Scottie wrong!" Charlie laughed it off like a pro, but Tiger's death glare nearly melted the grass. Cameras caught it, commentators replayed it, and fans dubbed it the stare that could melt steel. Even other pros couldn't ignore it. Viktor Hovland admitted, "It's getting out of hand. It's golf, not cage fighting, but chaos sells, and business was booming. Ratings shot up, hashtags trended worldwide, and the golf world had officially entered its reality TV era. Somewhere in all that noise, one truth stood out. Scheffler's comments had outgrown the game itself. What started as a few words about mechanics had exploded into an ideological turf war. Golf purists versus hype chasers versus the crowd hungry for drama. The US-Europe rivalry wasn't just alive, it was viral. As 2025 came to a close, one thing was crystal clear. Scheffler's critique of Charlie Woods didn't just light a spark, it lit a fuse. Golf had found its new storyline: generational, emotional, unstoppable. With 16 PGA wins under his belt, Scheffler had become the gold standard, the mountain every prodigy, especially Charlie, must now climb. Yet through all the noise, one thing about Charlie's season stood out. He was quietly writing his own story, one swing at a time. By season's end, Charlie Woods had turned whispers into proof. He wasn't just Tiger's kid anymore. He was a headline on his own. The kid closed out 2025 with 3 top finishes, a swing smoother than ever, and a swagger that screamed, "I belong here." Even critics who once questioned him had to admit, the prodigy was coming for everything.
Of news on the Tiger Woods front. No, he has not outlined his playing schedule for 2025, but he did say that he will be playing in the PNC Championship, aka the father-son, the parent-child, with son.
But fame never walks alone. With every highlight came a new headline, a new tweet, a new debate about whether Charlie's rise was destiny or hype. Every move he made became content. From what clubs he used, to what sneakers he wore walking into the clubhouse. Golf had turned into a full-blown soap opera, and Charlie was both the star and the storyline. Scottie Scheffler, meanwhile, stayed locked in. Cool, calm, and mechanical perfection. 16 PGA wins, 4 majors, and counting. While the internet debated his comments, he was out there adding trophies to his shelf. But deep down, even Scottie knew what was coming. The next chapter wasn't about him versus Charlie, it was about what Charlie represented. The next generation, the evolution, the changing of the guard. Reporters kept asking, would you ever mentor him? Scottie smirked, if he wants to learn, I'll teach. If he wants to challenge, I'll play. The quote blew up overnight. Fans called it the start of golf's new era, respect laced with rivalry. It was everything sports dreams are made of, youth chasing greatness while greatness dares it to try. And somewhere in the middle stood Tiger, quieter now, but always watching. He'd said his piece, drawn his line, and now let his son's game do the talking. Sources say the two practiced at dawn in Florida. No cameras, no noise, just father and son. Swing after swing, perfecting the art of silence in a world obsessed with noise. The narrative had come full circle. What started as a comment about mechanics became a movement. A story of pressure, legacy, and the impossible task of growing up under a shadow shaped like history itself. As the final tournament wrapped, one thing was clear. The future of golf doesn't just look promising, it looks electric. Charlie's not chasing Tiger anymore. He's chasing time, chasing greatness. And whether the world is ready or not, the kid's just getting started. So buckle up, because if 2025 was the warm-up, 2026 might just be the year golf turns into a battlefield between legends and the ones daring to replace them. What a season it's been. One of growth, grit, and straight-up grace. Charlie Woods didn't fold under the spotlight. He flourished. Multiple top 10 finishes, a hole-in-one, and a rhythm that just keeps getting tighter every round. The numbers don't lie. We're watching a player evolve, not implode. And then came Tiger's words that changed everything. Let him be a kid, he told ESPN. Calm but firm. He's got a lifetime to chase majors. That line hit like a thunderclap, a warning wrapped in wisdom, a father protecting his son while reminding the world that greatness takes time. Even Scheffler, the man who started this wildfire, echoed that same tone weeks later. Charlie's got everything it takes, the rest is patience. And when Jon Rahm threw in his 2 cents, predicting he'll win big, maybe sooner than we think, it was official. Golf's biggest names were no longer debating Charlie's potential. They were confirming it. Behind the scenes, college recruiters have gone full predator mode. Stanford, Florida, and a few dark horse programs are circling like hawks. The whispers are getting louder, the speculation endless. But Charlie, He's not saying a word. No statements, no interviews, no clapbacks, just golf, grind, repeat. His rebuttals are written in birdies, not tweets. The irony is wild. The exposure Scheffler sparked might have been the exact pressure Charlie needed to level up. The critiques, the comparisons, the chaos, all of it just sharpened his edge. He's not running from Tiger's legacy anymore. He's redefining it, because now he's not just Tiger's son, he's Tiger's successor in progress. And as the cameras fade and the headlines cool, one truth glows brighter than ever. Whatever's happening between golf's present and its future isn't random. It's calculated, it's quiet, and it's unfolding right before our eyes. So keep watching, because this story isn't ending, it's evolving. The fuse has been lit, and the next chapter is already teeing up. If you're loving this saga as much as we are, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more golf drama, raw stories, and deep dives into the game's rising legends. See you on the next one.